Gungnir, the guy every underworld scumbag had nightmares about. The #1 legendary assassin, a walking death sentence, the kind of dude whose name alone made people piss themselves. And now, somehow, he's playing the role of your average high schooler. Don't get it twisted, he's still got every ounce of skill, and he still wipes the floor with street trash like it's just another Tuesday. After cleaning up his targets in the shadows, he's now embracing the calm of his so-called normal life. But to get how the hell he ended up here, you gotta rewind. Back in the day, he was the undisputed apex predator in the assassin game, and this was supposed to be his last job before walking away for good. Target, Chairman Akagi. Tuji, moving like a damn ghost, reacted faster than bullets, dropping bodies without breaking a sweat. Akagi saw the writing on the wall. He wasn't making it out alive, and started begging for his life. But before Tuji could finish him, Hate, another top-tier assassin and Tuji's best friend, pulled the trigger and iced the guy himself. The job was done. Then Tuji's eyes landed on Akagi's phone, a picture of him with his daughter. And just like that, something in him snapped. He was done with this bloody carousel. No more killing. He officially hung up his guns. He was heading home to his girl, Mirai, who was cooking for him. On the way back, Hate was hyping Tuji up, talking about how the world feared his name, and how that fear made him damn good at what he did. But Tuji was over it. He'd met Mirai, and suddenly this cold-blooded assassin wanted nothing more than to live quietly with her and their dog, John. Hate thought it'd be hell for a killer to live clean, but Tuji didn't care. He was already planning to put a ring on Mirai's finger. When he finally got home, Tuji was looking sharp, almost awkward with nerves like some high school kid meeting his crush. But then, that smell. Blood. His body tensed instantly, and when he stepped inside, the whole damn world collapsed. Mirai was lying in a pool of red. John, lifeless beside her. Shattered, he stumbled to her side, his mind spinning in rage and confusion. Then he felt a presence behind him. Hate. The bastard had been tailing him, and he had the audacity to praise Tuji for still knowing when someone was on his back. Turns out, the organization wasn't about to let their best assassin go live the comfy life. To them, Mirai was a liability, so Hate slid her out of the picture. Then, with Odin's blessing or some bullshit excuse, Hate shot Tuji while he was already down, muttering about losing the greatest assassin alive. Lying there, bleeding out, Tuji realized the ugly truth. Guys like him never get happy endings. He had dared to dream too big, and now the woman he loved paid the price. But right as his consciousness slipped away, strange voices echoed in his head. Unfamiliar, almost dragging him back from the brink. His eyes snapped open, and the world was different. He wasn't Tuji anymore. He wasn't lying next to Mirai's corpse. He was in a bed, struggling to move, vision all kinds of blurry. Then he saw the mirror. The reflection staring back wasn't the ruthless killer everyone feared. It was a young boy. The world's deadliest assassin was now trapped in a kid's body, and his old life was nothing but a bloody ghost in his past. Kaido Fujiwara just got told he's cleared every damn test and wrapped up his rehab cycle like a champ over the past month. The doc's grinning ear to ear, saying his lost memories will bounce back once he's back to his usual life. Yeah, implying the kid had straight-up amnesia. But that's just the surface story, because in his head, the last thing he remembers is the soul-crushing sight of his girl lying in cold blood right next to his loyal dog. See, before all this, the guy wasn't Kaido. He was Tuji, the deadliest assassin in the game, ready to ditch his bloody lifestyle for good. But his so-called one and only friend, Hate, sold him out. Next thing he knows, boom, he's in the body of some high schooler, a complete 180 from the cold-blooded killer he used to be. Too much shit to unpack, but for now, he's piecing things together during his hospital stay. Turns out, the OG Kaido Fujiwara got smoked by Truckcoin on his way to school. A brutal accident left him with a brain injury bad enough to need emergency surgery. After a month-long coma, the body wakes up, but it's not Kaido behind the wheel anymore. It's Tuji, low-key fascinated about how the surgery went down. Problem is, he's got no clue what went down after he died. The only thing burned into his brain is a voice saying Tuji's brain was perfectly fine. Connecting the dots, he figures someone basically hijacked him, Kinjaka style, and lobotomized his ass right into this new life. He's still foggy on the exact details after his death, but then a wave hits him hard. The ruthless assassin actually breaks, tears rolling, grieving the love of his life and the future they were supposed to have. Fast forward, Kaido gets discharged and heads home. His mom, Kyoko, completely loses at the moment she sees her boy alive and safe. His dad, Taro Fujiwara, turns out the guy's a manga artist, joins in, hyped over his son's speedy recovery. Mom's stressing over his amnesia, but dad's playing it cool, saying everything will fall into place once he's back to normal. They're all smiles, waiting for their son to say something. But inside, Toji's got nothing but dread. He knows his new identity is now locked to Kaido, and if someone tied to his old life pops up, shit's gonna get messy fast. Still, he flashes them a perfect smile, saying he's fine. Deep down, the deadliest assassin alive has already decided. He's gonna lay low, play the part, and blend right in. They roll up to the kid's place, and Kaido Dam near short circuits. This house is big as hell, straight up mansion vibes. Turns out, Daddy isn't just some random manga artist. He's a big shot success. Dude probably wrote Solo Leveling or something. And Mom's from a rich doctor fam. So yeah, the money runs deep. Kyoko tells the boy to hit his room, and when Kaido steps in, he takes a sec to soak it all in. Spotless, organized, but still has that typical high schooler vibe. Thinking back to the parents, he remembers them hovering in the hospital, worried sick over their kid. It's crystal clear, Kaido's loved, spoiled even. And it punches the assassin in the gut, reminding him of his girlfriend's one wish, for him to just be happy. A type of happiness he never got in his own messed up life. Toji knows one thing. He doesn't want to be the kind of guy who lets this kid's parents down. Then his eyes land on a photo, this time not just the boy's parents, but another family of 3. Instantly, the assassin clocks that he needs to dig deeper into this kid's backstory. Next morning, surprise guest. This chick rolls up in a limo the size of a damn bus just to see Kaido, one day after he got discharged. Stubborn as hell, clearly. Dad opens the door, and there's Yuza, beaming, full-on sunshine mode. She asks how he's doing, but before the dad can answer, Kaido spots her and clocks that she's the same girl from a photo. Before he can process it, she lunges in with a bear hug, practically squeezing the life out of him, fussing over his health. Kyoko's happy seeing them click like always, but Kaido's busy reading the room, piecing together that Yuzaha's probably his childhood friend. She's hyped and offers him a ride to school, but he shuts it down. Meanwhile, Toji's realizing her family makes his look broke in comparison. Taro tries to get a word in, but Yuzaha just shoves Kaido straight into the car, promising to look after him. Then she turns back like it's nothing and announces she's throwing a party to celebrate his recovery. Parents are just standing there like, damn, before heading back to work. On the way to school, the real trouble brews. A pack of thugs who look like they sleep under bridges are getting ready to make a move. Their leader, Tetsu, has his eyes set on Yuzaha, even though his boys are sweating bullets about messing with a rich man's daughter. He glares at them hard, calling them out for acting like pussies. In his mind, they're already in too deep. They took money from the wrong someone, so there's no backing out now. This is the kind of shady crowd they're tied up with. Mid-scheme, Yuzaha's pricey ride pulls up, but this time the crew sees a boy next to her. The goons explain he's just a normie, her childhood friend, fresh out an accident. Tetsu's interest spikes, a slow grin creeping across his face as he steps forward. Yuzaha and Kaido split up for their own classes, and for a second, the assassin takes a mental note. Girl's got a kind, big sis vibe, always looking out for him. Stepping into his new classroom, Kaido gets this tiny taste of a normal life, something he's never had since he's never actually been to a proper school before. Being the clueless newbie, he asks where his seat is, and one friendly classmate is all smiles, until the dude's face goes pale the moment a towering, brick-wall bastard named Tetsu steps up behind him. Tetsu, full-on alpha wannabe energy, starts running his mouth, saying there's no spot for Kaido in this class, and that he's coming with them. Next thing Kaido knows, he's outside with this group of clowns, still half wondering if they actually dragged him out just to tell him his desk location or something. But remembering those earlier smirks, he starts putting it together. They're messing with him, especially with the way they're sizing him up now. Annoyed, he demands to know where his damn seat is, but Tetsu and his cronies are eating this up like it's a comedy show. The blonde punk steps up and give him an offer, get on his knees and beg, and they'll let him off with just a few punches. Apparently, this dude's salty as hell because Yuzaha likes Kaido instead of him. Then he adds that if Kaido so much as steps toward her again, he'll kill them both. Hilarious move, really, saying that to someone who's basically John Wick with homework. Kaido takes a second to size up the scene, realizing these idiots are legit his enemies. He's not upset for himself. He's sad for the poor bastards about to get wrecked. He didn't plan to hurt anyone while in the boy's body, wanting to keep it clean. So, As a last shot at mercy, he tells Tetsu that if he takes back his words, they can walk away from this peacefully. Naturally, that just sends the unwashed blonde into a rage fit like he just had the worst Taco Bell aftermath. Fuming, Tetsu lunges in with a fist, thinking he can end Kaido in one blow. But our king already read the guy's whole move. Rookie swing, wide open, multiple weak spots. It's so laughably slow Kaido doesn't even break a sweat, shattering Tetsu's ego with one crisp punch. Then, deciding to put this to bed, he smashes a palm strike into the guy's chin and judo slams him straight into the ground. The whole thing just reminds Kaido how stupidly peaceful this world is compared to the hell he's from. A bit later, Yuzuha rushes up to help, only to find him standing there like he's aura farming under goddamn sunlight. Turns out, he wasn't in danger. He is the danger. She's stunned, wondering if this is even the same Kaido she grew up with. She asks if he's the one who left those guys looking like roadkill. He hesitates, but plays it off, saying he just got caught in a pointless fight. She admits she heard the rumors, which is why she sprinted up to the rooftop. She wants to believe her innocent-looking friend couldn't be behind something so brutal, until she notices a small bloodstain on his collar, assuming he must be hurt. He insists he's fine, but she's a worried mess, snapping at him for making her freak out. That worry quickly shifts into sadness at the thought of him getting hurt. Kaido's not sure what to say, so he just apologizes. They head back to class, but as they leave, he hears the faint grumbling of the beaten blonde shit freak still pissed and already plotting payback. The scene jumps straight to the late-night party Yuzuha had been hyping up earlier. Kaido's parents rolled out the champagne and stacked the table with mouth-watering, drool-worthy food. While his folks laughed and soaked up the moment, Kaido's mind drifted back to Mirai, his girl who used to smile at him the exact same way and tell him to hurry up and eat. Back then, her words could flip him from a stone-cold killer into a straight-up food demolisher. Even their dog was eyeing the table like it wanted in on the feast. In his past life, Tuji once sat with his girlfriend, wondering if this was what it felt like to have a real family moment. Now, that exact warmth hit his current self like a punch to the chest, finally tasting what a normal life feels like. But of course, Yuzuha was late to her own damn party. Kaido's dad mentioned she'd been going through some heavy crap lately, even though she always masked it with a brave face. That's when something ugly started gnawing at Kaido's gut, like his instincts were sounding the alarm. He glanced at his phone and saw his childhood friend calling. Picking up, he expected her voice, but instead got the same punk from earlier. The guy was smug as hell that Kaido caught on quick, telling him to meet at a specific spot based on coordinates. If he refused, Yuzuha was going to pay the price. And just to really drive it in, the bastard mentioned that the same chick and her driver were being held hostage. From the background, Yuzuha's voice blasted through, begging him not to come. But that was all Kaido needed to hear. No, they'd hurt her if he sat still. So he played it cool, asked for the location, and the punk gave it without hesitation. Call ended, and Kaido acted like it was just a casual chat with another friend. Telling his parents he had a quick errand, he promised he'd be back soon. The cut shifts to a dark, busted-up factory where nearly a dozen armed goons were itching to throw hands. But that wasn't all. The big boss of the organization was there too, while his meathead bodyguard casually pumped iron in the background. The leader was pissed that Tatsuya made the call, slamming a kin right in his face. He was trying to keep a low, damn profile, and getting summoned here out of nowhere put him at serious risk. The scumbag then laid it out. Yuzuha was grabbed to fulfill the organization's orders. They wanted to squeeze some secret intel out of her about her inheritance. But she hadn't cracked once, insisting she knew nothing. That's why Tetsuya had the genius idea to drag her best friend into it, thinking if they threatened the kid who's always around her, she'd finally spill. Pull that off, and he'd officially lock in his spot in the organization. The leader agreed, but threw a warning, fail, and it wouldn't be pretty. Inakami, the jacked monster behind him, wasn't the type to chat. His orders were simple. Kill. He proved it by hurling a dumbbell so damn fast it blew a hole through a wall. Just seeing him made the blonde's knees feel like jelly, because if this plan went south, he was dead meat. Yuzuha, being Yuzuha, couldn't keep her mouth shut and provoke them, making things worse. Her driver tried to calm her down, which only got him stomped into the floor by Tetsuya, furious at anyone trying to butt in. He ordered his crew to drag the assistant away and then locked eyes on Yuzuha, making it crystal clear if she didn't talk, her childhood friend was toast. Even then, the girl swore she had no idea what he was talking about. That was the last straw. Tatsuya barked for Kaido to be brought in immediately. Right now, they had 40 armed thugs and a former wrestling beast who'd literally killed a man in the ring. No way the kid was walking out of this. The blonde was dead sure Kaido wouldn't get past Inakami, and when he failed, Yuzuha would cough up every last secret she had. The scene flips over to our boy, finally tracking his way to the factory. Outside, there's a bunch of clueless meatheads, future casualties just waiting to happen. He strolls past them with zero fear, and one of these dopes clocks who he is. But it's already game over. Our boy drops him with a nasty neck strike, folding him instantly. 3 guys are down before they even process what's happening. The rest of the wannabe tough guys rush in, but it's their funeral. The high schooler wipes the floor with them, even tossing one poor bastard straight into a trash bin. With that cold, murderous glare, Kaido tells them straight, stay the hell out of his sight if they value their lives. Back to Tetsuya. His boss is starting to get twitchy, wondering if the kid bailed. After all, he's just a kid. But the blonde coward knows better. What he fought on that rooftop wasn't a kid, it was a damn demon. He tries warning Soa, saying their enemy is not normal. Right then, their men start chanting Fujiwara outside. Yuzuha's shocked. The blonde is about ready to soil himself. The door blasts open and a body gets yeeted like a paper ball, landing at Tetsuya's feet. The muscle-obsessed freak in the room gets hyped. Finally, the target's here. Our boy, calm as ever, reminds Tetsuya of his last warning. He's struggling to hold back enough to not kill these clowns outright. Suwa can't wrap his head around how one kid just flattened 20 men solo. Kaido adjusts his tie like a boss and demands to see his friend. Yuzuha's scream echoes through the factory. Now he knows she's exactly 30 meters ahead. Relieved she's fine, he scopes out the room for hostiles. Then, in just 53 seconds, he speed blitzes the entire damn room, dropping every thug like they're ragdolls. Even Tetsuya is crawling away, looking like a panicked little bitch, realizing they massively screwed up. Kaido grabs him, fist cocked, promising pain. What follows is precision brutality. Lightning-fast punches smashing Tetsuya's clavicles, lower ribs, and elbows. Before the guy can even gasp, Kaido shoves him into a wall with nothing but a push. The rest of Suo's men are shook, wanting to bolt. But Suo reminds them he's paying them for this job. He's finally realizing the nightmare they're dealing with. This ain't a helpless boy. It's a monster. Blindfolded, Yuzuha hasn't seen a thing. Kaido steps up, telling her she's safe. But just as he's about to untie her, the giant wrestler charges in with a haymaker. The blow lands, or so Suo thinks, while Yuzuha screams. When the dust clears, Kaido is completely fine, and the wrestler's stuck mid-attack, eating a counter kick to the gut. The maniac tries again, but Kaido redirects it effortlessly and then drops a punch so vicious it shatters the guy's nose. Even then, the big man's convinced Kaido can't beat him in raw strength. Kaido knows he's facing the strongest in the group, and with his high school body, a one-shot isn't happening. So, he changes tactics. The moment the wrestler winds up again, Kaido vanishes from sight and targets his ribs. Then comes the unholy barrage. Fists, knees, and punches all slam into the same spot until the guy's fear finally kicks in and he hits the floor unconscious. Seeing their unstoppable wrestler get folded like laundry, the last 6 thugs bail. Smartest move they've made all night. Normally Kaido would chase them down, but right now Yuzuha comes first. He cuts her ropes and puts on a smile, relieved she's safe. He tells her it's all under control and that her assistant Kawhi is fine too. Of course, this is far from normal for her. Kaido wonders if she's scared, but instead she grabs his tie and tears into him. No thanks, just rage. He could have called the cops or gotten adults involved, but nah, he just had to make a movie-style entrance and solo 40 men. Still, she thanks him, even if it kills her to see him risk his life like that. It reminds Kaido of Mirai, who always begged Tuji to come home safe. He promises Yuzuha he won't make her worry again. Their moments cut short by Kawhi groaning. Poor driver got wrecked for nothing. Sirens blare outside. Police are here. Kaido just says it's time to head home. Over on the other side, Suo, who barely manages to get the hell out, still trying to wrap his head around how even the muscle head couldn't stop that monster kid. Turns out this guy's not even the top dog. He's got a boss. And not just any boss, but some big shot kingpin running underground crime like it's his personal chessboard. This terrifying boss? Yeah, he's sending a Lancelot to deal with the kid. Now that the boys screwed up the Great Will Organization's plans, there's going to be hell to pay. But before that, back to our boy. He's home, lying on his bed, knowing full well he gave his parents a heart attack by wandering off solo. They're knocked out now, sleeping peacefully, but Kaido still remembers the worry in their eyes when he came back. Lucky for him, the cops didn't drag him in for questioning. No evidence, no involvement. The thug's mission? Still a big, shady mystery to him. And Suo? Just vanished after the chaos. Feels like there's something even nastier lurking in the shadows. While jogging outside, Kaido's got one thought in his head. Nobody else around him is getting hurt. Then, BM, projectiles come flying at him, forcing him to leap straight up. The guy who shot them? Stunned, the kid dodged. But here's the twist. Kaido already knew someone was tailing him home. That's exactly why he came out here, baiting the stalker into the open. He turns to the guy and calls him out. The creepy bastard's impressed. Nobody's ever caught him like that. Not even in his own bedroom. First time he's been made. And he knows now that Kaido's not just some random high school brat. Kaido even gives him props for covering his tracks, pointing out he's on a whole different level than those clowns back at the factory. From just those two facts, it's obvious. This guy doesn't work in the normal side of society. So why is he spying on Kaido at all? The stalker hints that the kid's somehow connected to his world. But our boy plays it cool, sticking to the just a regular high schooler act. Then, enough chit-chat. The man whips out his blades for a full-on showdown. Kaido's seen this kind of thing before, in his past life. The assassin introduces himself. Sanjo, Great Will Organization, rank 67. Kaido braces himself, thinking back to when he used to be part of the same crew. Cut to the Great Will HQ. Council member Akatsuki is pissed. They kidnapped Yuzuha and still got 0 leads. He says they should have used a lance from the start to end it quick. For context, the Great Will can throw the world into chaos. They've got 1,000 assassins, and the top 100, the lances are absolute monsters with near 100% success rates. Minami and Akatsuki share the same goal. They're hunting a legendary treasure called Fenrir's Seed, rumored to be in Yuzuha's possession. No proof yet, but Yoshima's already sent Sanjo for the job. This stuns everyone. Lance missions need Odin's approval. Turns out, Yoshima already got it. He knows Yuzuha's bodyguard is a joke, which means there's more going on than anyone realizes. To him, these enemies are a threat, and the lances will take them out. Back to the fight. Kaido realizes Sanjo's stance is razor-sharp, unreadable, pure elite. Worst fears confirmed. Yuzuha's troubles are all strings being pulled by the organization. This isn't about inheritance money. This is something much bigger. Sanjo eyes the boy's stance and says outright, this kid's no high schooler. He's way too calm with a weapon in his face. Kaido instantly marks him as a threat to Yuzuha and lunges. The first strikes? Sanjo dodges like he's in slow motion, noting Kaido's speed and precision. Honestly, the kid fights like a pro assassin. But Sanjo's not playing. He nearly skewers Kaido's face, forcing him to keep distance. From just this brief clash, Kaido learns the guy's style. He's a range predator, keeping opponents exactly where he wants them. Sanjo likes what he sees and goes on the attack, launching into the air for a butterfly slash, then switching mid-strike to a new stance to keep Kaido guessing. He's legit happy to see the kid dodging so well. Meanwhile, Kaido knows he's outmatched in raw strength and speed. His only chance? Use the environment. Sanjo thinks he's found an opening and goes for the kill, only for Kaido to pull a slick move, slipping out of his jacket and going for a neck stab. Sanjo evades last second and counters with a slash, cutting Kaido. Blood's dripping now, and the reality hits. This is a lance. Kaido's body's weaker, untrained, but his technique is on point. Sanjo admits he's impressed. Kaido moves like a pro, just without that killer's edge. Sanjo finally spills it. The order was to kill a high school kid, but now he gets why a lance was needed. Kaido's a legit threat to the organization's plans with Yuzuha, and that means he's got to die. Now Kaido knows for sure. The organization's behind everything. Switching things up, the assassin flips into full combat mode, striking a cool-ass pose like he's about to drop a boss battle cutscene. No more playing nice. He's about to show the real, unfiltered murder energy. Sanjo dives in with his bats hit insane dragon dance form. Basically hundreds of rapid blade strikes flying at our boy like he owes him money. The guy's gone so wild, he literally skins a whole-ass tree without even trying. Meanwhile, Kaido's like, nope, and finds a safe corner to chill. Well, tries to, because this lunatic tornado slashes his cover in half, blasting a geyser of water everywhere. Another slash lands on Kaido, and that's when it hits him. This dude isn't just a regular assassin, he's an S-class psycho with a lance. The relentless barrage is so nasty that even Kaido can't get out completely untouched. Sanjo suddenly accuses him of being a killer too, and casually drops the idea of Yuzuha being taken out as collateral. And that's the exact moment Sanjo screws himself over, because that line triggers Kaido's trauma flashback. Except this time, the face of his girlfriend as memory gets swapped out with his friends. Rage mode engaged. Kaido launches himself at Sanjo, snatches the blade out of his hand, and slashes him across the shoulders so fast that even a top-tier lance can't process what just happened. Sanju's brain is now running one thought. What kind of monster is this kid? Kaido's not about to live through the same guilt and pain as before, so he swears to protect Yuzuha with his life. Sanjo, down his shoulder, still wants to throw hands. But now, his flashy, endless slashes aren't doing jack, because Kaido's matching every move like he's been training for this moment his whole damn life. Sanjo calls him a coward mid-attack, which just leaves him wide open. Kaido slips behind him, slashes his thigh hard, and roasts him for being such a loudmouth. Sanjo's stunned. How the hell did this kid just get faster in the middle of the fight? He tries the same spam tactics again, but this time it's straight up useless. Kaido's already downloaded his moves. A few precise cuts on Sanjo's left arm later, and it's clear the fight's over. Then Kaido goes full human Beyblade, spinning into Sanjo with god-tier speed, slicing him up while wearing a murder glare. This is the end for the Lance, who still try to wrap his head around how anyone could fight like the legendary Gungnir, their number one assassin. Kaido doesn't stop until Sanjo's lying in a pool of his own blood. The fight's done. Sanjo realizes he's been outclassed from the jump. He's panting, trembling, and can't move. Kaido's cut the tendons in his arms. The only mercy? Kaido leaves him one leg, just enough to limp away, while coldly telling him his assassin career is over. No more killing. No more purpose. For someone like Sanjo, that's a fate worse than death, because killers like him can't blend back into normal life. Before walking away, Kaido drops two demands: answer or lose the other leg. First, he wants the name of the one who ordered the hit, and second, why Yuzuha is the target. Sanjo just laughs like an idiot, swearing loyalty to his so-called god and saying he'll never talk. The god mention is all the confirmation Kaido needs, but suddenly, sirens. The chaos has drawn the cops. In that short distraction, Sanjo hops away on his one leg and warns Kaido to bounce before the law catches up. Before leaving, Sanjo throws one last question at him. Does he really think he can live like a normal high schooler? That one digs deep, dragging Kaido back into the reality he's always hated, that people think he can't ever live a normal life because of his assassin past. Even now, soaked in blood, he wonders if they're right. Cut to headquarters. Yoshima gets Sanjo's status update. Izumo reports that the lance is completely wrecked, no longer capable of working. Akatsuki is hyped at how someone could take down an expert assassin, while Izumo says Sanjo compared the guy's movements to Gungnir, which turns heads instantly. Even Akatsuki thinks it's a stretch, but nobody throws Gungnir's name around lightly. Minami interrupts their chatter, while Akatsuki complains about Toji's special status. Either way, they all agree Yuzuha's bodyguard is crazy strong. He not only wrecked their plan, but took down a lance-level opponent. Now Yoshima and the crew can't just sit and wait. They need answers. The mystery around Kaido Fujiwara just got a whole lot deeper. Speaking of our boy, he heads back to his room and patches himself up in total stealth mode. Inside, he's low-key spiraling. Dude's supposed to be just some average high schooler now, not the cold-blooded assassin he used to be. But life isn't cutting him a break. He's got to help Yuzuha slip out of the organization's crosshairs, and now that he's taken down a lance, they're going to be gunning for him harder than ever. In this condition, he's dead weight, and he knows it. So Kaido decides he's going to grind hard and get his strength back. If he's going to protect this peaceful life, he's going all in to keep it safe. Meanwhile, in the Great Wool Organization, Akatsuki volunteers himself to take on the Mystery Man. Everyone's a bit thrown off by the offer, but Izumo thinks it's the right move for someone this dangerous. If this guy's really on Toji's level, then your average lance wouldn't cut it. Akatsuki, ranked 9th overall and one of the nastiest assassins alive, is actually hyped to use his position to deal with the threat. A day after Yuzuha's kidnapping, Kaido's parents and Yuzuha throw him a welcome home party to celebrate his hospital discharge. His dad proudly serves up something he calls omiris, claiming he put in serious effort. though honestly, the dish looks straight up cursed. Yuzuha follows up by placing a steaming plate of beef stew in front of him, flashing a smug grin as she tells him to dig in while it's hot. The first bite hits him like a gut punch. Instant flashback to the past. He remembers Mirai asking if he'd be late that night. Back then, he promised he'd be home in time for dinner since he only had to meet someone and grab a couple things. No hint about his actual work. Mirai had been excited because she was making his favorite beef stew, and that alone made him happy. Before leaving, he'd looked her in the eyes and told her he had something important to share when he got back. She'd seen him off with a precious smile and a baby Johnny in her arms. Now, eating Yuzuha's stew, Kaido feels that deep sting. He never got to tell Mirai he was quitting the assassin life to be with her. Yuzuha notices his mood tank and asks if it's really that bad, but then our boy starts wolfing it down like it's his last damn meal on Earth. Eyes watery, he tells her it's delicious. She's relieved, and his mom jokes there's plenty more if he's still hungry. As his dad sets the pan on fire and Yuzuha beams over her cake, Kaido feels genuinely lucky to have such a loving crew around him. Later, he walks Yuzuha home because things have been sketchy lately. He asks if anything weird's happened around her, but she says her place is crawling with cops, so she's good for now. When he asks where her butler is, she admits she told him to keep away. Apparently, he's so annoying it's impossible to have fun when he's around. She tells him she had a great time at his place. It's been forever since she laughed that much. Then her tone shifts. She confesses she's been pretty low ever since losing her father. Kaido's floored. She never told him because she didn't want to pile more stress on his amnesia. She explains it happened 2 months ago, the same time as the car accident that put him in a coma. Kaido realizes that's why she was so torn up about him too, but she masked it behind her usual cheerful energy. He apologizes for making her worry, but she says it's no big deal. He hasn't changed much. She admits he's matured a little, but even as a kid, he was reckless enough to throw hands with bigger kids if they messed with her, knowing full well he'd lose. Same thing when she got kidnapped. He came for her without hesitation, even though she didn't get to see his moves because she was blindfolded. She gets curious and asks exactly how he saved her. He plays it off, saying everyone freaked out when they saw him, which is technically true since he tore through their crew like a beast, making her even more suspicious. Still, she says it doesn't matter as long as he's got the guts to show up for her when it counts. She admits she was terrified when the gangsters threatened her in Kauai, but when she saw his face, she felt safe and happy. She thanks him, and Kaido, smooth as ever, says he'll save her no matter how many times it takes, making her blush bright red. Flustered, she tells him to get in close and takes a selfie. Proud of the shot, she says it's going to be her wallpaper so she can remember the amazing day, totally ignoring the fact that it could spark rumors at school. Quietly, she admits it might help her move on too. Seeing Kaido looking out for her so soon after his accident inspires her to finally let go of her dad's death. Kaido smiles, realizing she's fighting her own battles just like he is, and it makes him want to protect her even more. But then Yuzuha shows him a photo of her dad, and his soul dam near leaves his body. He confirms if that's really her father, and she says yeah, her dad was always kind to him, even if others talk trash. She loved him deeply. Looking at that picture of her on his back, Kaido's chest tightens. He's seen that exact wallpaper before. It was the night he finished his last mission. That's when it hits him like a freight train. He's the one who took her father from her. Yuzuha notices he's gone quiet. Inside, he's screaming, standing here with the daughter of the man he assassinated in cold blood. He tries to justify it. Hate was the one who pulled the trigger, and if he'd known the target was her dad, he wouldn't have taken the job. But the guilt sinks in deeper. He blindly followed Great Will's order that Chairman Akagi had betrayed them and needed to be eliminated. Back then, he didn't feel a damn thing. Now, he's not only taken her father, but he's dragged her into danger again. He considers telling her the truth, that he was part of the organization that ordered her father's death, but he just clenches his teeth in frustration, still unable to pull the trigger on that decision. Next day at school, Kaido's just sitting there at his desk, quiet as hell, while all the girls are losing their minds over the news of a transfer student. Everyone's hoping it's some drop-dead gorgeous dude. But our boy doesn't breathe a word to Yuzuha. Taking down one lance doesn't mean the organization's going to back off. So his only real move is to keep guarding her with his life. Then the teacher drops it. The new transfer kid is here. The door opens, and the second Kaido hears his voice, his whole body freezes. Pink hair, all smiles, looking like some harmless anime protagonist, but Kaido knows better. This is no coincidence. Memories of the last psycho that came after him flash in his head, and the truth slams into him. This one's here because he messed with Yuzuha's kidnapping. The teacher introduces him as Makoto. And then, in the middle of class, the kid turns his head, eyes locking onto Kaido with a stare cold enough to cut glass. That's no random glare. That's a declaration. No doubt at all. The pink-haired brat is Akatsuki, one of the organization's top 12 divine spears, codenamed Biden. PE class rolls around, and the crowd's already eating him up. Makoto sinks another basket like it's nothing, girls screaming his name like he's a damn rock star. His teammates shocked he can jump so high for such a short guy. But Makoto just laughs it off, saying it was a great pass, hyping his team up to score again. The other team's already sick of him getting all the attention. Meanwhile, Kaido's not letting his guard drop for a second. It's weird. The Lance hasn't made a single move yet. The guy's just playing basketball. What's he planning? Lances aren't just some hitmen off the street. They're elite assassins ranked in the top 100, and the top 12 are the legendary spears under their leader, Odin. Monsters who could wipe out an entire army without breaking a sweat. These guys don't move unless it's for a top priority kill, which means they're dead set on Yuzuha. Kaido's chest tightens. Memories from his last mission won't stop clawing at him. He knows they're after the secret treasure the chairman supposedly stole. But can he really protect everyone here, including Yuzuha, with the body of just a high school kid? Back in class, the fangirl wave is still going strong. Makoto's mobbed with karaoke invites. Turns out he's even more popular after casually dropping that he played a little ball in the States. Kaido's watching from a distance. No move from Akatsuki today, but tomorrow he's staying fully on guard. Then Yuzuha calls out to him, asking if he can go somewhere with her after school. He shuts her down instantly, not even asking why, telling her to just head home. But suddenly, a hand lands on his shoulder. Makoto's there, all smiles, greeting Yuzuha by name, and Kaido's alarms go off full blast. Makoto introduces himself, but Yuzuha points out everyone already knows him as the new hot guy. She asks how he even knows her name when they've never met. The pink-haired menace just grins and says she's the heiress of the Akagi group fortune. Her smile fades. Makoto goes on, saying his dad owes the chairman, so he's been told to look after her. Then he tries inviting her somewhere. Kaido jumps in, cutting him off with a half-ass excuse about hurting his finger during practice and needing the nurse. The death stare he gives Makoto is enough to make him back down for now. They split ways, Yuzuha thanking Kaido for blocking another creep. Later, on the rooftop, Makoto's taking in the view, talking about how great youth is. He jokes about Kaido bringing him here to confess or something, but Kaido's silent as a stone. Makoto laughs it off, calling Yuzuha cute up close, saying he still can't believe she's the chairman's daughter. Kaido's done playing. He demands to know why Makoto's really here, wondering if it's payback for the purple-haired guy. Makoto, still unfazed, asks if Kaido was the one who took out Sanjo. He sizes Kaido up, impressed he beat Sanjo with barely a scratch. Kaido repeats his demand, patience running thin. Finally, Akatsuki drops the act. He's here for the secret treasure Yuzuha inherited. They don't even know what it is yet, just that they want intel. Then he makes Kaido an offer, join the organization. Says they only go after bad guys, the pay's good, and since Kaido's close to Yuzuha, she might just spill the treasure's location to him. Makoto warns him that if he plays along, they both might survive. But if he resists, innocent kids will get hurt. He walks to the edge of the roof, hand out like some villain making a deal with the devil. Kaido's not having it. In a flash, he's on him, launching a flurry of quick strikes. Akatsuki dodges with ease, complimenting Kaido's pro-level speed. But then Kaido grabs his arm, smirking. He knew Makoto would try using bombs. The little cube in his hand is no toy. It's Biden's signature weapon, combining explosives with martial arts. A deadly mix, infamous in the organization for wiping targets off the map. The second Makoto drops his codename, it's like a gut punch to the assassin. The guy actually jumps back, barking that Kaido knows way too damn much for a regular kid. Then Makoto whips out 6 more bombs like it's casual Friday, grinning like a lunatic, and says he's about to crank the chaos up a notch. Kaido's eyes lock in, and he starts bouncing around the rooftop like a parkour pro on steroids, trying to snag every single one. First 3, snatch clean. Then he vaults over a wall, uses his damn feet to hook the other 3 midair. Makoto watches the whole stunt, shaking his head like, yeah, this kid's definitely not normal. But before Kaido can even breathe, Makoto whips out another bomb from nowhere and chucks it toward the ground. Kaido sprints like hell after it, but the assassin's laughing, telling him there's no way he can protect the whole school like that. The cube hits the field, boom! Explosion goes off before it even lands. Students start screaming, scattering like ants, but Mikoto just smirks and says he rigged it to pop early so no one would get hurt. Calls it a bonus prize for catching 6. Kaido's ready to snap, but Mikoto cuts him off, tossing more bombs into his hands and asking who he really is and if he's going to join their crew. Kaido thinks on it for all of 2 seconds before saying he's just a normal-ass high schooler and would never team up with him. Mikoto looks legit bummed, but shrugs, figuring Kaido won't come around unless a few people die first. That's when Kaido drops the nuke, Gungnir. The name alone makes Mikoto spin around with wild eyes, and Kaido calmly says he was Gungnir. Evacuation orders start blaring over the school speakers. Mikoto's glaring, pissed Kaido even said the name, but Kaido's just buying time. Before the pink-haired psycho can react, school officials flood the rooftop to check for stragglers. Mikoto gives him 3 days to decide, warning he'll regret saying no. Classes get cut short thanks to the blast. Rumors spread quick. No one hurt, big shocker. Yuzuha asks Kaido why he's not heading home, but he says he's got something important to handle first and tells her to stay put, since the explosion could have been aimed at her. That's when Kawaii jumps in like a wannabe bodyguard, yelling about boosted security and how he's learning martial arts to protect her. Yuzuha's just annoyed. She tells Kaido to text her if something happens, and he nods. She drives off, and Kaido turns back, locking eyes with Mikoto like, I see through your crap. Meanwhile, Mikoto's watching him, certain that Tuji wouldn't let anyone trash Gungnir's name. Later, riding the local train, Kaido hopes he's dragged Akatsuki's focus away from Yuzuha and onto himself. Akatsuki might be the youngest of the Divine Spears, but his skills are no joke. Kaido clenches his fist, thinking how he's gotten used to his new body, but knows he's not ready to take on a Divine Spear head-on. He worries he might lose in 3 days, but that doesn't shake his hardcore resolve to protect Yuzuha, even if it means killing the pink-haired freak. He hops off at Shibuya Station, heading to the place where he died the first time. Jumps onto the balcony, wondering why he even came since Mirai's sure as hell wouldn't be waiting. The door swings open, could be a trap, but he walks in anyway. The crime scene's cleaned up, though the rest of the apartment's untouched. A noise. Kaido instantly drops into fight mode, but it's just his dog, John, tail wagging like crazy. The good boy trots up with a frisbee in his mouth. The sight drags Kaido back to park days with Mirai, tossing the disc for John. His throat tightens. The dog still remembers him. Then he spots a photo of him, Mirai, and John at the beach. He remembers that road trip when she said she didn't fully get his work, but she just wanted him happy. He told her he was satisfied and would die protecting her. She told him a dead man can't be happy and begged him to try living for once. Now he's standing there, tears running, hating that he never made her happy, and knowing she's just a memory now. Back home, he tells his family that some couple had to give up their dog, so he brought him back. Before he can even pitch the idea, Tero's all in, saying they should keep him. Kyoto's suggesting walk rotations. They ask his name, and Kaido says the last owners called him John. Later, he shot Yuzuha a quick text, asking if anything had gone down yet. She replied that things were dead boring on her end. Then she brought up hearing about his new dog, and asked if she could swing by to pet it. He told her to hold off for now, a smirk tugging at his lips as he stared at his phone, because deep down he already knew exactly what move he had to pull next.